In this lecture, we're going to be learning how to draw the human form. Now, the first thing you need to do if you want to draw the human form is you need to find some reference, and then you need to study that. Before we can get into how to break it down into separate shapes, you need to at least have a very basic understanding of what the human form is made out of. And the only way you can do that is by actually looking at photographs or still lifes of real people and drawing them. So in this lecture, we're going to be drawing some photographs of some female forms and some male forms. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm looking at my reference right now, and the first thing I always like to do is I always like to do a really rough, quick sketch that takes about 30 seconds. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. I just want to really quick put down those lines and try to get the best representation of my pose as I can get. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'll go ahead and start by drawing the torso. I'm just trying to draw exactly what I see. And this doesn't have to be perfect. You're just trying to quickly get down that pose so you can start to understand it. And then after we do this one, we're going to go ahead and jump in and do some more advanced stuff and spend a lot more time studying the pose. All right, great. So now I have a very basic rough sketch of my pose. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to spend a lot more time doing my second sketch. So it's going to be the same exact pose from the same photograph, except this time I'm going to spend a lot more time studying the photograph and making sure that I get it looking correct. So let's go ahead and start doing that. So I'm paying attention to which direction each line is going, whether it's a little bit horizontal or if it's completely horizontal or a little bit vertical or diagonal. You really want to pay attention to the angles and make sure that you're getting them all down exactly as you see them. All the information you need is right there in your reference, so go ahead and use it. Now, this leg is a little bit off, so I'm going to go ahead and erase it and move it over a little bit, because in my reference image, it's actually a little bit more towards this side. So I'm going to go ahead and fix that now. Alright, great. Now, I didn't really do very much explaining with this because there's not really much to explain. It's just like doing a still life. You're just going to copy the pose exactly as you see it and try to copy it as best as possible. I know it's going to be really difficult because drawing the human form can be very difficult, but don't worry. In the next few lectures, we're going to go into a little bit more explanation of how the human body works and how to draw the pose and break it up into simple shapes. But for now, you need to have a really good understanding of all the parts of the body. So like each part of the arm, the torso, the chest, the pelvis, the legs. You need to really start to study that and understand how it's working. Now, the reason why we did this really quick rough sketch was to basically warm ourselves up. So it's just like when you're working out, before you start lifting weights, you want to warm up so you can lift more. And so by doing a really quick rough sketch of our pose before we did the second one, that warms us up to draw something really good. And you'll be able to do a lot better work if you warm up first. Now let's go ahead and try one more of these, but this time it's going to be a sketch of a male figure. All right, great. So now we've done two sketches of a female form and a male form. Now, if any of you are really skilled at drawing the human form, you can probably already tell that these are not perfect. And the reason why is because I haven't actually laid out my structure. And so I've just been drawing these straight off of my reference image without actually drawing any shapes or structure, making sure that I have the correct proportions. In the next lecture, we're going to go ahead and learn how to break the human form up into simple shapes that we can then replicate to draw really quick and accurate forms. Thanks for watching this lecture, and I really look forward to seeing you in the next one. Your assignment for this lecture is to draw at least one human form from a photograph, and then go ahead and post that to the Q&A section of the course or the Facebook group.